Welcome to the Brother Side Podcast. I'm Alex.
I'm Justin.
Today we have a special guest. I like saying special.
Yeah,
Rachelle.
everybody's special.
Difonzo. Pew, pew, pew. Pew, pew, pew. She's stealing my taglines.
Yeah, those are his sound effects. He gets mad.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, how you doing today?
I am awesome.
Are you?
So happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
We were just discussing your business and how Justin and I are terrible at getting our wife's gifts.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's where you come into play. And
Yeah, I did it.
Sorry, guys.
That was my knee.
Oh,
Amateur hour.
we're hitting the desk here. I'm a customer. And
You are one of my clients, and I love it because you just let me do whatever I want. You just tell me what you want to spend and when you want it, and it's always spectacular, correct?
it is. It works out great.
Surprise and delight.
But she is surprised, but she's catching on that it's not me.
Oh, duh.
Well,
Yeah,
if it's-
she knew that from day one.
The
If
first
it's too
two,
good,
the
yeah.
first two, she's like, okay, nice work. And now it's like consistently good. And she's like, all right, who's doing
Yeah.
this?
What's going
Where'd
on
you
here?
buy shred? Paper
Yeah,
shred.
yeah. She knows the shredded paper. And I'm just
Yeah.
like, you would never do this in your gift. I'm like,
I've shredded paper stockpile now because I just love
She's
to
like, are you
include it
gay
in
now?
our gifts.
Like, did you?
Yeah. When did you?
Are you trying to tell me something with these
Yeah.
awesome gifts?
right, right. I'm
When
just
are you
trying to be
coming
a better
out?
husband.
So
So I would
Your
like
business.
to tell you about my business. So it's very difficult starting a company that I didn't know what it was going to be. So I started with my logo. And so it's like, okay. When I started ConAgra, he said, my boss, he said, if you could do anything, what would you do? And I was like, I don't know. Who gets to do what they want? Like,
right,
Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
the American dream isn't that.
Yeah, exactly.
it's much more complicated.
It's very complicated, and being an entrepreneur is extremely stressful, and I have excellent circumstances, and I still did not sleep the first year. I'm starting to sleep, and I don't have debt, so I can't imagine for people that make this huge investment
Sure.
how they even survive.
You get over it.
So I joined a networking group. I had 4 months between when I knew I was getting laid off, started my company, until I was laid off. And I was giving my job away. So I had time to invest, and I was making money. And so that was very helpful to get this runway, even though I didn't sleep. So celebration company, I love to entertain. I love to party. I love to give gifts. It just makes me happy. I'm happiest when my house is full and I can feed you and get you tipsy and we can talk and there's not a care in the world.
We're coming over after the show.
Yeah.
Too.
My husband loves to smoke stuff on his smoker.
Does he have a Traeger?
He has
Pit Boss?
one of those like
Green
spaceship
egg.
ones.
Green egg.
No.
Green Mountain.
No.
Weber.
No.
Broiler. Blackstone?
Charbroil?
I don't know.
Charboil.
We have a Weber grill.
I don't know. We're just.
That's
TP.
That's his job. I have
Are you
different
just making stuff up?
responsibilities.
TP.
So
Logs.
anyways, I started networking, and it was really challenging to talk about a company that didn't exist and you didn't know what it was. And so my
Where were you?
original concept was a mobile gift boutique. So think of a food truck concept,
Sure.
and then I sell handmade local gifts from other people out of this trailer. So I bought a trailer off Craigslist. Half the price of a new one, already had air conditioning, electricity. My dad and my uncle decked it out. It looks like a little mobile shop. It's super cute. The wood was used from the original barn at the original farmer's market on like 108th and Center.
Cool.
Oh,
I
that's
love
awesome.
something that has a story and that is repurposed.
Yeah.
You know, as Midwesterners, we're all about value.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And so eventually, it came to me why I was doing this. So I was born in Council Bluffs.
Council Tucky.
Yeah. I knew you were
Home
gonna-
to Farrah Abraham. Backdoor.
something.
Yeah.
Teen
Yeah.
Mom, I don't know.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah. Teen Mom.
Oh my God.
That's all I know
Teen
about
Mom
Council
was
Bluffs.
my guilty pleasure show until I got
Oh.
rid of cable. I only have Netflix.
Did you
That
like
is the
keeping up with
worst.
the Kardashians?
Oh my God, they're trash.
Yeah,
watched
but
it.
you.
I did watch
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Ah, you're just like Justin's wife.
Yeah.
No, I
She loves.
I need
Trashy
my own
TV.
Bravo
show. Like,
TV,
they
the
need
ETV.
more authentic, genuine people that are interesting and have skills. But hello, would you be a Kardashian?
Well, yeah. I mean, they make
See,
millions
right,
of dollars.
right. So you're intrigued. Anyone who didn't grow up with millions of dollars is intrigued.
Right.
It's
Well, one of
just-
them's worth $1 billion now.
Oh yeah,
The youngest one.
Kendall or
Kendall.
Kylie or something.
Kylie, the one
Oh,
from
Kylie.
Makeup Line, yeah.
Yeah, she's worth $1 billion.
Well, and that's interesting how the young ones ended up like being way more successful than the older ones.
What happened
Right.
to Rob? The
Rob?
boy? Didn't he like leave the
He-
family or something?
I don't know. He didn't
Quarantine
look good, I know
15
that.
too many times.
Yeah, he had like a quarantine 200.
Yeah.
Whoa,
He,
really?
he
Yeah.
gained a ton of
Well, I
weight.
mean, when you're dealing with your sisters,
Just
and you're
stress
like,
eating his ass off.
Well, and he's not bringing any talent. He doesn't have the looks.
He's not hot.
Yeah.
He's
okay?
not doesn't
I'm
have the
the
looks
son.
like the sisters do. Doesn't really seem like he does much of anything other than eat Doritos. So
All right, back to me. I'm
Okay,
way more
sorry,
important.
back to Rachelle.
So, born in Council Bluffs, single mom. She worked at Pizza Hut. I had an 8-year-old brother. We were broke. So, we lived with my grandparents. And so, they were retired, so they helped raise me. You know, they had a very important role in my early childhood. But they would take me to a place to volunteer called the Cupboard.
Uh-huh.
So, the Cupboard is a place you can get 6 items every 60 days that food stamps don't cover. So, like diapers, stuff you really, really need. But before we'd volunteer, they would take me to garage sales. So we'd get hats, mittens, gloves, stuffed animals. So my job as a child was to pack up the 6 items, and then when there was another child, I got to give them that gift.
Oh,
And it had such a profound impact on me because I created this experience for them, and you could just see the gratitude in their eyes. I know so many people from Westo. My husband's from Orange County. They've never had that gratitude in their life.
Sure.
yeah.
And I created this out of nothing. So for me, it's about creating this experience. And so my mission statement for my company is making them feel as appreciated as they are, because that's what
Very
it's
nice.
about.
Yeah.
And so I love being creative and thoughtful instead of spending a lot of money. So I have over 25 local vendors that do items for me. So you're supporting local. When you buy from me, a lot of times you're also buying from these other people, and we're spending money on yogurt pouches. We're not a billionaire at Walmart just
Right.
sucking for blood from your employees and your customers and everyone.
Right.
So I love to support local, but I've always been huge in giving back. So when I worked at ConAgra, I was head of the ConAgra Women's Network. They were very amazing at employee resource networks. They gave us like 10 hours a month. They paid us to volunteer. So we did backpacks for kids with food. They're all about food. But in the Women's Network, I had 8 women not underneath me, that collaborated with me.
Worked, yeah.
So there was the giving back community. And that was one of my favorites because I love to give back. But we did Brush Up Nebraska, and we packed backpacks. And when people are sad, I'm like, you should just go do something for someone else.
Yeah.
It
I
really
agree.
just, the more I give, the happier I am.
I would agree with
You know,
that.
and so if you read the book Giftology, like he just gives stuff away and it comes back tenfold because people just want to be acknowledged, especially now because everyone's so not around people.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
you miss
yeah.
it. You know, you look at these
Depression's
nursing
actually all-time high.
homes. Yeah, it's awful. And so it's really just about being authentic and good and making people happy. Like I pinch myself still. I'm like, I get to do this every day. It's insane.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So it's your true passion and
Is
calling
giving.
for life.
Oh yeah. I mean, my ultimate goal would be like Skinny Girl.
A Kardashian.
Nope.
oh, Skinny Girl is
She
I
has
just-
margarita, Skinny
Yeah.
Girl
Yeah,
margarita. She
yeah.
has food now, popcorn.
what is her name?
She was on Real
Real
Housewives,
Housewives
of
in
New
New
York
York,
or
yep.
something. Yeah. What's her name? I don't know.
God.
And she did a lot with Puerto Rico. But my ultimate goal would to be that, have a celebration company with all these departments, blow up, sell it, and be a full-time philanthropist and travel the world.
Ooh.
Yeah. Who
Can
doesn't want to
I-
do that?
Do you have stock yet? I will buy in.
I am not
I'm
a
sold.
public company. My goal for next year is to scale. So my first 2 years, I just wanted to try everything. So before Corona, we were doing cookie decorating classes. So our first class was at Nebraska Brewing Company, and we sold over 50 seats, sold out in 2 days. So think
Whoa.
of like paint your own paint, but what do you do with all those paintings?
Like the canvas painting?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pinot, whatever.
Yeah.
Pinot and palettes.
Yeah, right.
But what do you do with all those palettes?
My
So
wife threw
cookies,
mine
you
away.
eat them or give them, you know, and it's about the experience. You get to hang out with your friends, do something cool, post it on social media.
Well, yeah, it didn't happen if you don't post it.
So I think that in itself could be its own franchise. So while I get all this pressure from people that say you're doing too many things good or okay instead of one thing really well, I'm like,
Right.
you don't know.
You don't know me.
I'm killing it.
You don't know me.
You don't know me, son.
And they're like, you're going to burn out. And I am. They're right. And I respect, I want people to tell me all the advice they can give me. I love learning from other people's mistakes so I don't have to make them.
Sure.
But at the same time, you need to listen to your instincts and say, see ya.
I got this.
I would be terrible in your cookie class.
Yeah.
I did that canvas painting thing, and it was laughable. And the whole time I was taking it serious. I'm like, all right, I'm going to have the best painting in here. And at first I was intimidated. I was like, how are we going to do this? But they really take you through the whole thing. And I'm just really focused. And we get to the end, and Annie walks around, my wife, and she's like, wow. And I was like, so do I just throw this away now or when we get home? And I went around the room. We had 20, 25 people in there. It was definitely the worst.
Seriously?
Oh, yeah.
There's not an artistic bone in either one of our
No.
I'm
mouths.
just glad
No.
you went.
So
Yeah.
I did throw it away. But
Well,
yeah, I went.
tell her about the time you boiled water. Just how terrible he is at anything home, like painting, cooking.
So this is 8th grade, man.
No, it is not.
Freshman. Oh,
this
no.
happened at your house.
Oh, that story. Oh, 'cause
What
there-
story are you
I
talking
was
about?
thinking the mac and cheese when I just tossed it off the deck because I,
I don't know
forgot
if
to drain the water. I didn't drain the water. I'm like, why is this mac and cheese so soupy?
Honey, you need to order a
So
pizza.
I was at mom and dad's house freshman year of high school, and I just chucked it off the deck. I didn't know what else to do with it. And mom's like, you could have put it in the trash. And I was like,
drain the water, then put it in the trash.
no, I wasn't thinking
No,
like
I'm
that.
talking about the time like 2 years ago.
Yeah, I was trying to create a romantic night for my wife. It was some anniversary or birthday. I don't quite remember. I blacked out. But so I'm like trying to make this recipe, and it calls for boiling water. And I put
Seems
water
simple enough.
in a glass measuring jar and put it on the stove.
And it exploded.
It exploded and went into my hand. And it was like right when I touched it too, it was like just the touch of my hand created more tension, or maybe it's just perfect timing. And glass went right in my hand, and then went on the floor, then it went in my foot. And I was about done with everything, cleaning up the blood and whatnot. I had Band-Aids on, and Annie she walks in, she's like, what happened in here? I'm like, I'm never cooking again. So I try to push it off. I just can't do it.
Yeah, you're the worst. Yeah.
So that's where you've like saved me with gifts.
Well, and I love your choices because you go outside of the box where a lot of people are very standard. So Valentine's Day, we did a setup for your table. We did placemats and cute plates, and you got food from Hy-Vee, very romantic dinner. Where
So
most people were
all
like
that was a part of
flowers.
you, like the placemats. and
I gave him
everything?
everything.
Yeah.
Oh, and we did flowers for the
Yeah.
centerpiece.
Yeah.
Jeez. Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
man.
So
All right, where I'm
details
at.
by
Interesting.
Defonzo.
So, did you provide the edible undies that he told me about?
Yeah. Edible undies.
No comment.
No comment. She gets no comment.
No. I would rather not say. No, thank you.
But I
That definitely
primarily,
didn't
so I
happen.
primarily do annual gift subscriptions, whether it's employee appreciation, client appreciation, husbands to wives, condolence, babies, you name it. I can do anything. So
But your big business is business to business, right?
business to business. So most people have an annual gift subscription. And what that means, there's no like annual fee. It just means you don't have to remember anything ever. You just have to tell me your budget, the dates, what you want, what you don't want. I'll come back with samples. Some people are not interested because it takes initial communication. They just want to order something off a website.
Right.
But where I've been so successful is because it is custom to the gift recipient, and it's strategic, and it is the Midwestern value that you can't get anywhere else. We do all local deliveries. I delivered cookies for a client from Omaha to Omaha. I think it was $12.
Wow.
Right? And they're cookies. They're light.
Right.
But people think shipping's free because I get 40-pound bags of dog food delivered to my door for free from Amazon.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. It's
So most of what I do has been local, but next year my goal is scaling.
So-
Doing an e-commerce platform.
Yeah, I was gonna say your website needs to have something where you can like browse, right? So you
Yeah.
can look at different gift options and
Yeah.
kind of.
But I didn't want to put the time and effort and money into something until I was confident that it would be successful.
sure. Yeah. That makes
'Cause,
sense.
yeah,
What
I like sleeping.
did you?
Yeah.
Do you think you, or maybe did you double your sales in 1 year or?
I have over doubled my sales.
Wow.
What's
I
Clifford?
cannot believe how successful I've been. It's incredible. So a lot of it is about my networking and connections. So that's so important, these relationships, because people are so happy with what I do and it's so successful and it makes them more successful. I have like a sales force of over 100 people in Omaha telling everyone. So I get
Sure.
1 to 2 new clients a week that just contact me. Social media has been huge. I've gotten a lot more consumer clients this year because they don't want to go anywhere. Their kids are at home full time all of a sudden, or they're sharing a car and they're like, I didn't know people did this. I delivered cold medicine to a client because he was under the weather and soup and he couldn't, he was just.
You could have delivered a lot of toilet paper back in March.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
You have to hook up on toilet paper. 'Cause
Rachelle, we are low. Got some wiping to do.
yeah. Gonna need you to fashion some toilet paper out of some linens.
In general, if you pay me, I'll do it.
Sure. Yeah.
But
It all comes at a cost. That's right.
it does, and so that's really what people are paying for is my time.
It's kind of like a concierge.
Concierge
Approach.
service.
What's the
absolutely.
toughest part about it? What's the toughest part about what you do? Is it the
jeez.
time? I mean, because
It's
Time.
the
I would
time.
think any entrepreneur, I feel like, is like you never really truly leave work because you're the business.
Making decisions, it's only you. So at ConAgra, I had people that had 25 years of experience teaching me, analysts that were genius, that knew all this formula, and it's just me. My husband's like, well, do you think? I'm like, oh my God, stop.
I don't want your advice.
Clifford.
And he was the inspiration for my company because, oh my God, for Christmas, I wanted these sparkly slippers from J. Crew. I said, this is what I want. So Christmas, I'm so excited. I'm opening it. It was a scarf. I'm like, I have a newborn. She's going to get snot all over this. It's $40 for a scarf.
Right.
So I had to return the scarf, buy the slippers I wanted, and I'm lucky they even still had them. He's like, I didn't like them. So it's not about you.
This is about what I want.
Right? And
Yeah.
that's so many people do that. They give gifts with their face on it or swag. When was the last time you saw an executive wearing swag with your name on it?
Well,
Never.
Never.
Brother Side Podcast hadn't been around
We
forever.
we
Like,
got some swag coming. We got some coffee cups and some pens.
yeah.
And swag is not bad.
No,
but
we need.
it's
It has its
not
place.
always
Yeah.
the best
It's a
etiquette.
gift. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
No,
we're
I mean-
talking like throw it in a golf outing.
You like
bag.
the pens and stuff.
Yeah.
We just need a little more exposure
Right.
outside of social, and then coffee cups for our guests.
Yeah.
So
we're trying
we
to keep
don't
it.
have them yet, but when they get here, we'll be sure to hook
Maybe
you
you
up.
should get rocks glasses or pint glasses.
We thought about that, but
But-
I'm like,
Not everybody drinks,
Yeah.
for one.
yeah.
And
And
You
coffee
gotta have a
cups.
coffee cup.
Everybody drinks coffee, it feels like. So that was Alex's idea, which I hate giving credit for anything. But
Coffee or tea or
he said, yeah, he's like, not everybody drinks alcohol, A, and B, like even when you drink alcohol, is it going to be in that glass necessarily? So your exposure to the people you give it to is even limited beyond that, but everybody drinks coffee.
Well, and I feel
Well,
like it's just
yeah.
like they're at work. Like your pint glass isn't going to be at work. And if there's a chance that someone sees your coffee cup and it says the brother side at work, it can be a conversation piece like, oh, what's that shitty podcast? Like, it's just two brothers.
How many tens of people listen to you guys?
Well, and that's interesting because depending on my clients, some are very private, but some we do deliver to their work because we'll do something shareable that creates conversation, and then you talk about the person that sent it to you. So there's many different ways to surprise and delight.
You told us you wanted to talk about some of your community work, right?
Big bros, big sis.
Oh,
right?
yeah. So I talked about ConAgra.
I know we
Big
have to
Brothers,
go off
Big
the funny
Sisters.
side.
Because Alex is a big brother.
No, I'm a
teammate. You're a teammate. I'm sorry.
Teammate. Yeah. So I've been a big for
I'm sure they're real proud
over
right
a
now.
year now. So my little, she's so fun, and they're a great program. I love giving back, and there's just so many kids that no one's on the same playing field. And so when I talk about how I want to be a full-time philanthropist, I want to start a foundation, it's going to be about children. My goal would to have every child start at the same playing field. You get the same education, you get clothing, you get food. There's so many kids that just
Don't have the opportunity.
they don't have any of that.
Yeah.
And I just watched a TED Talk on how it affects your brain and your adulthood, and it's devastating. My daughter's so spoiled. I grew up, I didn't have my own room. She has her own playroom. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Yeah. My kids are
But
also
that's
spoiled.
one of the reasons I fell in love with my husband, because he grew up having a lot of things that I didn't, but he didn't take advantage of that.
Sure.
And he works hard, Midwestern values.
Yeah.
Clifford. He sounds like a gem.
You know, and Omaha's so segregated. So Susan Buffett, she's done a lot of work
Yeah.
in the same area.
She's coming on our podcast.
Amazing.
She doesn't know it yet.
She doesn't
Right,
know,
I know,
but we'll,
I know.
We'll reach out. We're,
Yeah.
I have a
we're
lot
tight.
of those. Yeah, I know.
Suze. We like to call her Suze.
Suze. We're on that. We're on that
Little
level.
Suze Buff.
Suze Buff.
Suze
What up,
Buff.
girl?
Yeah.
Yeah, Warren just turned 90, gangster.
Yeah. No, that's interesting because my wife is a special ed teacher, and I won't name the school, but they have that backpack program, and it's really sad to see how many kids are dependent on that every day for breakfast and lunch. And
That's
now
what's
with
been so
COVID,
hard with
they had to
COVID.
shut it down. I think they picked it back up late last spring, but
Yeah, it was like
right at the
April, May.
beginning, they had to shut it down for a few weeks until they could figure out the logistics of, all right, how are we going to get all these kids food again? And I mean, it's just, I want to take all these kids and adopt them and give them a chance, because I hear her stories at work, and I'm like, or from work, and I'm like, that kid has no shot. It's
They
going to be
don't.
really
They
hard
don't.
to come out of it.
I mean, there's people like me that grew up with nothing that say, no thanks. I will do everything it takes to be different. And there's people that just, you're so beaten down, you don't even have the drive. And so my grandparents, they had over 40 foster children throughout their lifetime. So that's another
Whoa.
thing I'm passionate about.
Wow.
So many foster children carry their few belongings in trash bags. Like, could there
Whoa.
be a worse metaphor?
Yeah.
You know, and so there is a nonprofit in Omaha that gives them backpacks, and it's just, it's not any of these kids' fault.
No.
You know, what you do when you're grown is your fault.
And they think, I mean, for them, it's probably fairly normal. Like, they just don't know
They're just
different.
And
It's sad.
this saying, you're a product of your environment, couldn't be any truer, in my opinion.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
nature and
Absolutely.
nurture. Seeing my
Absolutely.
husband, who was adopted, and oh my gosh. So he did 23andMe because he wanted to figure out where he's from, because he was adopted. He didn't know. And then his birth mom reached out to him after 36 years.
No way.
Wow.
How intense.
How did that go?
But
They
same,
met. Yeah, I mean, did they, or
my
did they
hair.
meet?
No,
No. Oh,
no, she's out of state.
okay.
He was born in Philadelphia. But my
Born
hairdresser,
and raised.
same thing. She found out she had a brother that was born from a one-night stand, and her dad didn't know. The lady never told the dad, and now he has Alzheimer's, and all of a sudden they're meeting their brother in small town Nebraska.
Wow.
That is crazy.
So weird. Yeah. I'm
One-night
like,
stands.
not for me. Like, just, I don't even want to know.
Yeah.
So Rachelle, we got a little bit of time left here. We're gonna.
I think we're about out of
We
time.
got
Yeah, I
30
think we're just-
seconds.
30 seconds. 30 seconds.
What's one thing you would say to a former employer?
Thank you. Love you a long time.
Everybody.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Blake said
the same thing. He said,
I've only
"Thank you."
had one bad boss. I've been so fortunate to have people that believed in me, supported me, didn't fire me when I should have been
Yeah.
fired.
Quit showing up hungover.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's another
We've all
podcast.
lived that.
Yeah.
We've all lived that. Yeah.
Well, thanks for having me. Details by Difonzo. All things celebration. Make them feel as appreciated as they are.
Where can we find you? Facebook, Instagram,
Facebook, Instagram, Google.
Pinterest?
I don't do a lot on that.
No. Twitter?
No.
Okay. So Instagram, Facebook, Details by Difonzo. Thanks, Rachelle, for coming on.
Thank you, Rachelle. It's
Yeah,
fun.
we had fun with you. Cheers.
And congratulations to
Yeah.
your baby.
Yes,
Yeah.
another
You're gonna be
Pearson.
a
in
dad.
this
Another
one.
Pearson.
Yeah,
Oh,
we're excited.
Lord help us all.
Kids are the best.
Yes, they are.
And the worst.
In the worst.
Yeah,
Well,
couldn't
this
agree
has
more.
been the Brother Side Podcast. I'm Alex.
I'm Justin.
Thanks, Rachelle.
Pew, pew, pew.
See you next time.
See ya.